You don't fall for people who can't love you back because you're broken. You fall for them because some part of you still believes love is something you have to earn. And that belief didn't start with them. It started long before you ever learned what heartbreak was. You learned it quietly, in the way you had to try harder to be seen, in the way you learned to be good to receive affection, in the way attention appeared and disappeared like a door that was never quite open. So when someone comes into your life who is emotionally distant, emotionally unpredictable, emotionally unavailable, it does not push your heart away. It wakes it up, because your nervous system doesn't want what is healthy, it wants what is familiar. And what was familiar for you was never consistent love. It was waiting, hoping, wondering. It was sitting in rooms where you felt unseen and learning to call that normal. So when someone makes you feel that again, when they leave you guessing, when they disappear emotionally, when they offer affection one day and distance the next, your heart starts working overtime. Not because they are special, but because your body thinks it is home. And that is the part no one tells you. You are not attracted to emotionally unavailable people because you enjoy suffering. You are attracted to them because your heart learned early that love feels uncertain. So certainty feels boring, consistency feels uncomfortable, and safety feels strangely wrong. Because when you have lived in emotional chaos, peace does not feel peaceful. It feels empty. It feels unfamiliar. It feels unsettling. And your heart doesn't crave love. It craves what it recognizes as love. You tell yourself you just love deeply. You tell yourself you are loyal. You tell yourself you are understanding. But the truth is, you are exhausted. You are tired of waiting, tired of wondering, tired of feeling like you're too much and not enough at the same time. But every time you try to walk away, something pulls you back. Not hope, not trust, not love. Fear. A fear that this is the best it gets. Fear that if you don't make this work, nothing else will. Fear that being alone would hurt more than being half-loved. So you stay, and you shrink, and you settle, and you convince yourself that silence is peace, distance is depth, and neglect is strength. But none of that is true. You aren't strong for staying where you're not held. You're surviving, and survival is loud. Your body tells the story even when your mouth doesn't. In the headaches, the tight chest, the shallow breathing, the sleepless nights, the overthinking, the emotional hunger that is never satisfied. Because when someone cannot love you back, you don't just feel lonely. You feel invisible, and invisibility is one of the deepest wounds a human can carry. It teaches you that you are not enough, that you are not chosen, that you can be present and still not matter. And somehow, heartbreak hurts less than that kind of quiet erasure. You don't miss them. You miss the idea that maybe one day they would finally see you, that one day they would finally choose you, that one day you would finally be enough. But the cruel truth is, they did not fail to love you because you were unworthy. They failed because they were unable. And there is a difference, a painful one. Because if you were unworthy, you could fix it. You could change, improve, become more. But if they were unable, then nothing you did ever had the power to heal them. And that is devastating. Because it means you were always fighting a war you could never win. Trying to fill a heart that could never hold you. Trying to earn a love that was never available. And that is not love. That is self-abandonment. Every time you stayed silent to keep the peace, you left yourself. Every time you lowered your needs to avoid conflict, you left yourself. Every time you questioned your worth instead of their absence, you left yourself. And after a while, you don't even realize you're gone. You're physically there, emotionally present, but deeply disconnected from you. Because loving someone who cannot love you back doesn't just hurt. It steals you slowly. It makes you forget who you were before you learned to be small, before you learned to wait, before you learned to accept less in the name of love. And maybe the hardest part is admitting that you didn't just lose them, you lost yourself trying to hold on. And grief for yourself feels different. It is quieter, heavier, lonelier, because no one else can see it. They saw the relationship end. They did not see you disappear, but you did. In the mirror, in your voice, in your laughter fading into something weaker, in your confidence melting into questions. And that kind of loss does not heal overnight, because it is not one heartbreak. It is 1,000 tiny goodbyes to who you used to be. And here is the truth that will change you. You love people who can't love you back, because you are trying, unconsciously, to heal something from your past. You are not choosing them. You are choosing the familiar ache, the same emotional environment, different face, same wound. Because on some level, your heart believes if you can just make this person love you, then you can finally heal the original pain, the one that started all of this. But the problem with healing a childhood wound through adult relationships is that you keep reopening it. You are not fixing it. You are reliving it. And every time it happens, it digs deeper. And the saddest part is this. Emotionally unavailable people are not cruel. They are just unfinished. And unfinished people hurt people without touching them. They leave you guessing. They leave you hoping. They leave you asking why love feels like hunger. But love is not hunger. Love is nourishment. Love does not starve you. Love does not confuse you. Love does not test you. Love does not make you beg to be chosen. And if you have to beg, it is not love. It is attachment. A deep one. A painful one. An exhausting one. Because attachment says, I need you to be okay. And love says, I am okay, and I choose you. And those are very different lives. One is survival, one is freedom, and you have been living in survival, calling it romance, calling it passion, calling it destiny. But destiny doesn't make you miserable, it doesn't collapse you, it doesn't make you doubt yourself every night. And maybe no one ever told you this, but emotionally healthy love is calm. It is boring to a nervous system hooked on chaos. It does not keep you awake. It does not give you butterflies. It gives you breath. It gives you home inside yourself. And the reason you don't trust it yet is because you never learned that love can feel safe. You learned that it disappears. So when someone stays, you brace. When they are kind, you wait for the catch. When they are consistent, you get restless, because chaos feels familiar. But healing changes your appetite. One day, you will crave steadiness the way you once craved intensity. You will begin to see emotional safety as attraction, not suspicion. And it will feel strange at first, uncomfortable, like wearing clothes that finally fit but feel unfamiliar. But if you stay with it, something in you will soften. Your shoulders will drop. Your breath will deepen. Your heart will stop racing. And in that quiet, you will realize something. You were never addicted to the person. You were addicted to the moment they almost loved you. You were addicted to potential, the hope, the fantasy, the picture of what could be, not who they were. And once you see that clearly, it loses power. Because reality always defeats fantasy when you finally allow yourself to look. And what you will see is this. They were inconsistent. They were distant. They were emotionally closed. They were never going to hold you. Because you cannot build a home in someone who is always halfway gone. And now is the moment where something shifts. Not outward, but inward. Where you stop asking, why didn't they choose me? And start asking, why did I accept this? Not in blame, in clarity, in compassion, in truth. Because that question will change everything. It will lead you back to yourself, back to your voice, back to your needs, back to your worth. Not the worth you perform for, the worth you are born with. And once you arrive there, the pattern breaks. Quietly, gently, but forever. And the people you're attracted to will change, not because the world did, but because you did. You will no longer crave emotional absence. You will no longer romanticize distance. You will no longer chase someone who is unsure. Your body will refuse it. Your heart will reject it. And where there was once desperation, there will be discernment. Where there was once longing, there will be self-respect. And where there was once fear, there will be permission to leave, to choose yourself, to want more, to expect real love. And that is not too much. It is exactly right. You do not need someone who almost loves you. You need someone who does, fully, clearly, consistently. And when that finally happens, you will realize something painful and beautiful. The people who couldn't love you back were not the tragedy. Staying was, but leaving is a return to you. And that, in the end, is not a loss. It is a homecoming. If you and I are anything alike and you want to keep walking this path with me, then subscribe.